wanted to begin by just asking you guys a little bit about working with your director, Mark. What's his directing style? What are there a lot of takes, or was it just kind of, it was a low-budget movie, so it was just sort of run and gun, and maybe a lot of improvisation?
Indeed, all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above. There was, I mean, I think, the first thing that springs to mind was there was a lot of freedom on set. So, but we had parameters to work in, and we had this incredible dialogue that Mark had written. I mean, I find, about 80% of the film, I think we did actually stick to the dialogue.
Oh, wow.
But that's because how he wrote it is how we speak.
Yeah.
So even when you were trying to find the best way to say things, it was exactly how it was written. You didn't even know it.
Sometimes you had to go in a bit of a circle,
Yeah.
go off on your own tangent,
Yeah.
and then by the time they call action, you're speaking the dialogue anyway because it's so well written.
But his style of directing is pretty hands-off, but I think he did most of his work in the casting, really, and in rehearsals. We rehearsed a lot.
Yeah, and what was the rehearsal process like?
Beautiful, very intimate.
Very intimate.
Quite chilled, but detailed. Like, we really dug the script apart.
It was self-motivated, yeah. I think what was amazing was we all kind of got together and realised how, we were all so excited and passionate about the project, and then just picked it apart. And, I think even the challenging scenes, we brought this kind of enthusiasm to it, which when you're finally on set and you're having to do those things, it's better to be happy and kind of passionate about it rather than miserable and frightened.
Yeah, and they were really open and free, and we first day of rehearsal, Keanu was reciting sonnets, and the second day of rehearsal he was, I was panicking about the blowjob scene, so he took off his pants and went, "Here you go, let's rehearse."
No, really?
Yeah, there was a little bit of cotton between me and Keanu's manlyhood.
Yes.
But that kind of attitude that's really involving and intimate,
which was
and
actually that was a really
us.
Interesting point, because I remember in that thing I was in the room as well and just kind of sitting there on the couch and feeling awkward, and then I was like, this is like Mia. She just watches while they perform their antics, and so we created the dynamic.
You created
without
the
even
characters throughout your own relationship.
We actually
so exciting. We
fall into the
completely
same
did. Absolutely.
patterns,
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah.
Well,
really.
Keanu's,
I annoyed Keanu every lunchtime. I was like,
oh, you did?
talk to me, speak to me. I need to speak to you about this.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. And he was sitting there like John going, yeah. And every time he opened his mouth, I would speak over him.
Yeah.
And Adelaide observed.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
and he was intrigued by her because she didn't speak. Of course, that's what happens. They all love the...
You mentioned Keanu. He's always been one of my favorite actors. What was it like really getting a chance to work with him? It sounds like it was a great experience for both of you.
Yeah.
You learned a lot.
Oh, it was
Fabulous.
extraordinary. I think, his attention to detail and his knowledge of film, he's literally lived through and worked in,
classic world...
Yeah,
cinema,
and been through a lot of, developmental changes in film. So he knows it like the back of his hand. So I think, technically it was just so inspiring to work with him. And then he was so enthusiastic, and I think that's always the best way to approach your work, So I just loved it.
And I
loved
understand
it
he was
too.
actually the DP in some points of
Well,
the film.
he shot all the stuff that's on the camera that you see.
Yeah.
That's
he
all
was
him
actually
shooting.
filming while we were filming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
We had an
amazing.
objective camera in his camera.
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome. Well, my time is up, but ladies, it was
Thank
lovely
you.
talking to both of
Thank
you.
you
Nice
so
meeting you
much.
again.
Lovely
Nice
to
seeing
meet
you.
To survive, you must discover who you are.
Or not.